Welcome, dear listener, to a journey that spans the rise and fall of empires, the whispers of ancient poets, the clash of swords, and the birth of revolutions. This is the story of Iran, once called Persia, one of the world's oldest and most enduring civilizations. We'll travel through 5,000 years of triumph, tragedy, and transformation, from the clay tablets of Elam to the revolutionary chants of Tehran. Iran's story is not just history. It's a living fire, ancient, yet burning still. Chapter 1. The Cradle of Civilization, 7000 to 550 BCE. Our story begins long before Persia became an empire, in the fertile valleys of the Zagros Mountains. Here, around 7000 BCE, early settlers built villages, cultivated land, and began crafting the first chapters of what would become a civilization like no other. Fast forward to around 3000 BCE, and we meet the Elamites, one of the earliest kingdoms in the region, centered in Susa. They wrote, they traded, and they fought, especially with their powerful neighbors, the Mesopotamians. But the real transformation came with the Indo-Iranians, or Aryans, who migrated into the plateau. Their beliefs laid the foundation for Zoroastrianism, one of the world's earliest monotheistic faiths. Their language, the ancestor of modern Persian, began to take shape. Out of these tribes rose two major powers, the Medes and the Persians. And soon a visionary leader would emerge, a man whose name would echo through time, Cyrus.
Chapter 2. The Achaemenid Empire, Persia's Golden Age, 550 to 330 BCE. Imagine an empire that stretched from the Indus River to the Mediterranean Sea, one where roads connected cities thousands of miles apart, one built on tolerance, law, and vision. This was the Achaemenid Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great in 550 BCE. After conquering the Medes, he swept across Asia, toppling Lydia and Babylon. But Cyrus wasn't just a conqueror, he was a liberator. The Cyrus cylinder, inscribed in cuneiform, declared religious freedom for all subjects. After Cyrus, his successors expanded and refined the empire. Darius the Great created a bureaucracy so advanced it rivaled modern systems. He built the royal road, reformed taxes, and raised the glorious city of Persepolis. But no empire lasts unchallenged. From the west, the Greeks pushed back. Battles like Marathon, Thermopylae, and Salamis would become legends. Persia, despite its might, could not fully subdue the Greek spirit. And then came a storm named Alexander. Chapter 3. The Macedonian Storm, Alexander and the Seleucids, 330 to 247 BCE. In 330 BCE, the young Macedonian king Alexander the Great marched into Persia, defeating Darius III and burning Persepolis, an act both symbolic and tragic. But Alexander admired Persia. He married a Persian princess, adopted Persian customs, and dreamed of uniting East and West. Yet he died young, and his empire fractured. Iran fell under the rule of the Seleucids, Greek rulers trying to govern a Persian heartland. Cities turned Hellenistic. Statues of Greek gods stood alongside Zoroastrian fire temples. But beneath this fusion, a native resistance was quietly brewing. The people hadn't forgotten their roots, and they would rise again. Chapter 4. Parthians and Sassanids, the Resurrection of Persia, 247 BCE to 651 CE. From the northeastern frontiers came the Parthians, horsemen and warriors who built a new empire on the ruins of the Seleucids. With their famed cataphracts, armored cavalry, they held their own against mighty Rome. Their empire lasted nearly 500 years. But it was the Sassanians who truly resurrected Persian glory. Ardashir I overthrew the Parthians and declared himself heir to Achaemenid greatness.
Zoroastrianism was restored as the state religion, and cities like Ctesiphon flourished. Under rulers like Shapur I and Khosrow I, Persia saw advances in medicine, astronomy, and governance. They battled Rome, traded along the Silk Road, and built a truly Persian civilization. But their centralization of religion and increasing social strife left them vulnerable. From the sands of Arabia came a new force, a faith destined to change everything. Chapter 5: The Islamic Conquest and the Transformation of Iran, 651 to 750 CE. In the mid-7th century, Arab Muslim armies united under the banner of Islam swept across the Persian plateau. At the Battle of Qadisiyah, the Sassanian army was defeated. Yazdegerd III, the last Persian king, was forced into exile and eventually killed. Iran was absorbed into the Umayyad Caliphate. Zoroastrianism faded, though never vanished, and Islam gradually took its place. Many Persians converted, sometimes freely, sometimes under pressure. But the Persian spirit didn't die. Instead, it adapted. Persian language, customs, and culture began to influence the Arab world, and soon it would rise once more, this time in the heart of Islam itself. Chapter 6: The Persian Renaissance, the Islamic Golden Age, 750 to 1258. In 750 CE, with Persian support, the Abbasid Caliphate overthrew the Umayyads. Their capital, Baghdad, was just a breath away from old Persian cities. This was the age of science, poetry, and philosophy. Persian scholars like Avicenna and Al-Razi laid the foundations of modern medicine. Mathematicians, astronomers, and alchemists pushed the boundaries of human knowledge. And then there was Ferdowsi, the great poet who spent 30 years composing the Shahnameh, the Book of Kings, preserving Iran's pre-Islamic history in verse. Persian replaced Arabic as the language of poetry, administration, and court life. Dynasties like the Sassanids and Buyids supported this cultural rebirth, and the soul of Persia danced once more, not with swords, but with words. Chapter 7: Catastrophe and Continuity, Mongols and Timurids, 1258 to 1501. In 1258, terror came again, this time on horseback. The Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, sacked Baghdad and decimated Persia. Cities were burned, millions died. But destruction was not the end. The Mongol rulers, now known as the Ilkhanids, converted to Islam and began rebuilding. Persian art and architecture flourished under their patronage. Out of devastation came revival. Then came Timur, the one-eyed conqueror from Central Asia. He destroyed cities and spilled blood across continents. Yet in Samarkand, he built a capital of Persian splendor. Scholars, poets, and architects followed in his wake. Through all the chaos, Persian culture endured, resilient, radiant, and ready for a new chapter. Chapter 8: Safavids and the Shia Transformation, 1501 to 1736. In 1501, a teenage warrior named Ismail declared himself Shah and founded the Safavid dynasty. He made Twelver Shi'ism the state religion, a move that redefined Iran and set it apart from the Sunni Ottoman world. Under Shah Abbas the Great, the Safavid Empire blossomed. Isfahan became the crown jewel of Islamic architecture, its blue domes and grand boulevards dazzling travelers from across the world. Persian carpets, miniatures, and calligraphy became symbols of elegance. Diplomacy flourished, and European envoys came to court. But after Abbas, the Safavids weakened. Invasions followed. A new ruler emerged, Nadir Shah, both a genius and a tyrant. He briefly restored Iran's power, but left no stable legacy. Chapter 9: Decline, Reform, and the Struggle for Sovereignty, 1794 to 1925. The Qajars, rising in 1794, presided over a shrinking empire. Iran lost vast territories to Russia in the north and was influenced heavily by Britain in the south. But the 19th century also saw a flicker of reform. In 1906, the people of Iran demanded a constitution, a parliament, and limits on royal power. The constitutional revolution was a moment of awakening. Though often crushed, it refused to die. In 1921, a soldier named Reza Khan seized power. By 1925, he crowned himself Reza Shah Pahlavi. He modernized Iran, building railroads, schools, and secular institutions, but he ruled with an iron fist, silencing opposition. Change was coming, and it would shake the world. Chapter 10: Revolution, War, and the Islamic Republic, 1925 to present. Mohammad Reza Shah, son of Reza Shah, inherited the throne during World War II. His rule saw rapid modernization and growing wealth, especially after the oil nationalization crisis and the 1953 CIA-backed coup that overthrew Prime Minister Mossadegh. But beneath the surface, anger brewed. The Shah's lavish lifestyle, political repression, and dependence on the West alienated many. In 1979, the people rose. Ayatollah Khomeini, in exile for 15 years, returned to lead the Islamic Revolution. The Shah fled. Iran became a theocratic republic, governed by clerics with velayat-i-faqih at its core. What followed was turmoil: the Iran-Iraq War in 1980 to 1988, international sanctions, nuclear tension, and domestic unrest. Yet through all this, Iran has remained a major power, intellectually, culturally, and geopolitically. Its youth are tech-savvy, its poets still revered, and its people still speaking with the fire that cannot be extinguished. The immortal flame. Iran is more than headlines, more than politics, more than myths of ancient kings. It is the poetry of Hafiz whispered on the wind. It is the resilience of a mother, mourning her son but standing tall. It is the fire temple and the mosque, side by side in memory. It is every protest, every song, every child reciting Firdausi in school. All of this is Iran. A land where history is not the past. It is the present, pulsing, eternal.